Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, that subscribe and maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Now today's first story comes from InkSC2 who says 31 male. I caught my 28 female fiance having sex in our home with a married 36 male doctor at the hospital I work at. They don't know about it and I don't know what to do. And it does come with an update as well. Sorry for the long post. I feel like I'm a ticking time bomb that is going to wind up killing 2 people right now. I don't know what to do. I'm so confused. I don't understand how any of this happened. They don't know yet and I'm not sure how I should go about this. We are both very loving, affectionate, the sex is always good. We both have good jobs, money isn't an issue. We had plenty of excess. We dedicate plenty of time to one another. No big fights in a long time. Any real problems we had, I thought had been solved long ago. No problems at all. Until today. Today started off really good. We cuddled before we got out of bed. I made us breakfast before I started my typical 12-hour shift. I'm a nurse. At 7 this morning. We joked about some of the stuff going on between our crazy families. All was good. In fact, it was so good that I had one of these days where I was going crazy just thinking about her and I missed her so incredibly much. It was like a sign that my boss let me off early because of how much I've been working lately. 60+ hour weeks for the past 3 weeks, plus school. I was so excited to see her as I was driving home today. She had the day off. Until I got to the house. I'm good friends with one of the doctors at the hospital and I recognized his car immediately. I had never thought of the possibility of her cheating on me. I hadn't ever considered it possible, ever. We were too close and everything seemed way too perfect. For the first time in our relationship, I was suspicious. I had believed she only knew him from visiting me at work during a break. Twice maybe she met him while we were out at the bar some nights. Well, already suspicious, I parked down the street, quietly walked into the front door and headed upstairs. It was quiet, so that calmed me a little, because she is usually pretty loud in bed. Well, all the feeling of calm I had went out the window when looked into the bedroom door, half open, with them doing it doggy style facing away from me. I finally heard his grunts and her quiet moans and it felt like I was paralyzed forever. As soon as I came to my senses, I got the fuck out of there, trying not to make a sound. I immediately called one of my friends from work and headed to her place where I'm typing this out now. She doesn't use Reddit. He doesn't either, so this isn't some dumb throwaway. This all happened about 4 hours ago. I haven't received any texts or calls, so I don't think they heard me leave. If I confront them, I feel like I might just kill them and scream at her, throw out without any of her shit and leave her for dead, seeing as how her family and good friends are on the other side of the country. The doctor is married, so him taking her home is out of the fucking question. And I'm probably going to out him anyways and try to destroy his reputation. I think I hate her now. I can't believe any of this is happening. I need advice. Should I confront them both about it and break it off, or just break it off entirely with no contact? There's absolutely no way I'm going to take her back. The house and everything is in my name. Sorry again for the long post. I'm not in a good state of mind right now, so it's a lot of shitty rambling. Edit. Sorry about the lack of updates, guys. I've been a wreck all night. I'll post an update after I confront her later today. There's no way in hell I can let this go on any longer than it's already been going on. I'll spend the next few hours replying to the post if I have to. After that and something to eat, I'm going to start the process of disconnecting any ties I have to her, finances, family, etc. Edit 2. I'm going to get everything started. I'll make an update after I confronted her. I can't sit around here waiting anymore. And we do have an update and some information from OP as well down in the comments, which we'll cover in a second, but there is no coming back from this really, is there? I mean, look at the way OP's talking in this one. There's no way they're going to reconcile in any way whatsoever. And if he does chuck her out, can you do that legally? I'm wondering. You know, we cover a lot of stories where people getting chucked out, but it's never that easy of just like throwing someone out the door when they've lived there for X amount of time. There's legal issues involved, I assume. And I guess the big question that's in my mind on this is why? Why did she do this? Why is she doing this to OP? It sounded like they had a great life, so why has she done this now? But mildly sociopathic says, if you're going to throw her out, check to see if you can do that, legally speaking. Other than that, I'd say screw them over. OP says legally she's a resident in my home, so I'm unable to kick her out. I'll post an update later. I'm going to the bank today to see what I can do. I'll post an update after I've confronted her. I haven't come home and my phone blew up for 3 hours last night and I've been getting calls and texts periodically since then. I haven't read or responded to anything from her yet and I'm still at my friend's place. And there was another part that jumped out to me in this story, and it might be just, read too many of these stories speaking right now, but it said it was a sign that my boss let me off early because of how much I've been working lately, 60 plus hour weeks for the past 3 weeks plus school. So I was sort of wondering, I wonder if the boss knew something was going on and it was a way of him finding out. I don't know, as I say, that might be a big jump there. And Chicken Adobo with Rice says, whatever you do, don't marry this girl. Don't know why he would, don't think he's going to, but please, before you do anything else, please just try to calm down. Go visit a close friend, or if you are close to your parents, try speaking to one of them. Video games help me calm down, so do whatever helps you calm down. Don't do anything stupid that might ruin your life. Seems like you're a pretty successful individual that is in a shitty situation. It will get better, just clear your mind so that you can make good decisions. As per the legal thing about kicking her out, I have no idea. Hopefully a lawyer can chime in. As for the fuck that had sex with your fiance, I try my best to fuck him over and expose him. Fuck that asshole for what he did. I'd completely cut ties with this woman after all the dust settles. I'm sure her family will understand. If they don't, it doesn't matter anyways. And make sure to spend time with your friends. Do whatever to take your mind off of these things. Best of luck, my friend. OP replies again saying marriage was out of the question the moment I saw her fucking on our bed. I spent the entire night thinking about the situation and trying to calm down. I owe a lot to my friend that has helped me through the night. I didn't even realize it was the morning as I've just been angrily trying to think about this whole thing. I'm trying not to let my emotions get the better of me, but I'm just really hopeless at this point. I want to be angry, but that will lead to someone probably getting hurt or me doing something stupid, and I fucking hate being sad about it. It's something. This is so fucking stupid. Snow Bunny says, remember, this is not your fault. Don't do anything stupid that would be your fault, like hurting anyone. Make sure she knows you're okay so she doesn't report you missing or something, but stay away so you can form a plan. And then I'm sure you know the drill. Lawyer up, delete Facebook, hit the gym. You can do this. Arcade says, telling the married doctor's wife is the right thing to do. Not for vengeance, but so that she can make the same choice you have to make right now. You can also probably mention it to HR at work. Handle it professionally so there's no blowback or stain on your reputation. As for your fiance, confront her. It's the only way to find out if she's in the least bit remorseful. If you're sure it's over, no one will blame you. But if you want to explore any feelings of reconciliation, you need to get everything off your chest first. OP replies saying, I'll see if I should mention it to HR, even though I've been told they won't do anything. I don't want this to impact my career. I'm probably going to end up working somewhere else. And one more from Fed Bianca who says, will you be harmed professionally by outing him? If so, that is a consideration you may need to take. Hospital politics can be complicated and you have already suffered quite enough without having your job endangered. Another user is also correct that you need to check to be sure you can legally kick her out. It sounds terrible, but you could possibly be sued in some states for throwing her out if she has clearly been living there, even if the house and everything else is legally in your name. Finally, with regard to the practical details, she legally has to return your ring. Prior to a marriage, an engagement ring is essentially viewed as a down payment on a contract, the marriage, to be fulfilled. If the marriage has not gone through, the ring is yours. As for the rest of everything you are going through, I'm so incredibly sorry you are going through this. I can't even imagine how this must make you feel, and I hope you are able to recover as soon as you may. You have my best thoughts. Hugs. To which OP replies saying, I don't know what I'm going to do beyond letting him and his wife know. I'm thinking about stopping on the way home. He has kids, they'll be at school. I don't know if that's the best choice. I don't know if I'll be able to look her in the eyes. I don't care about the ring. It wasn't overly expensive. Neither my fiance or I ever cared too much about big romantic gestures. I'll see what happens later, I guess. And now let's move on to the update to find out what happens next. And just give you a warning, in the update there is a lot of swearing in this one, so I'm going to try and tone it down just a little bit. Whilst I don't mind a swear word here and there, you know what I'm like. Excessive uses, it just gets a bit crazy sometimes. So this is a lot longer than my other post, sorry. It's also a little later than I expected to give an update. I won't bother writing about anything from my previous post, it's all in the link. I'm going to try to post relevant information only, to keep it short. No one wants to hear a bunch of idiot rambling. I'm going to be honest here, I don't remember half the day. At least words. Can't remember the time I did anything, barely remember the people I spoke to, and I'm glad I effing don't. This has been the worst day of my life. I'm only coming here to vent about everything. After I left the original thread, I went to the bank, withdrew everything from our joint account and had it closed. Opened a new account at the credit union instead of the national bank we were at. I will be talking to a lawyer about this tomorrow. I took a break to cry and punch my steering wheel and dash after I finished this. It felt good. I left to head for work on my day off and file a report to HR about the piece of shit that effed my girlfriend. I asked if he was there. He was, so I avoided him. I'm saving him for later. Apparently she had come in the night before to check on me, hysterical, crying, convinced that I had died, or worse. It took everything in my power for me not to mention what happened to everyone. I wanted to out him. I feel like I should have, but I'm saving him. I'm going to get him later. The boss man that let me off early had no clue as to what was happening. If he does, he won't admit it. I tried to ask him without actually revealing what had transpired. He's either really good at acting clueless or probably thinks I'm an idiot right now. I left work and headed to the piece of shit doctor's house. I didn't think school was out yet. She wasn't home. Waited 10 minutes and got paranoid. Nice neighborhood with neighbors that probably talk a lot. I'm probably already on the watch list. I left. So from there, I headed home. I still had a couple of hours left before my fiance got home, so I decided to check my phone. There were over 50-ish texts and 12 missed calls from her alone since last night. Basically, she went into total lunacy sometime after I had disappeared. I asked my friend, whose house I stayed at, to play dumb if anybody contacted her. I felt like I could trust her, so I guess I was right. I read everything and listened to every voicemail, text, every word. I couldn't help but think, you lying bitch. You don't give an F about me. Shut the F up. It kept repeating itself after every word from her. I finally gave up and had some beers, went upstairs and played StarCraft for a while. Updating Reddit never crossed my mind, sorry, it's been a hell of a day. I got tired, aka mad, of losing. I played 2 games and turned the game off. I didn't want to text anybody and tell them I'm okay because they would probably tell her, so I just cracked. I opened up our account from AT&T and sneaked a peek at her text and call history. Wow. 6,000 texts this month. 6,000. Not even 200 of those were to me. Guess how many to Dr. Shitbag? About 4,000. I don't even understand how this is possible, and who are the other 2 numbers I don't recognize with about 500? What the F? Yeah, I have unlimited texting, but what the F? Calls weren't out of the ordinary for her. I'm just obsessing over this absolutely stupid amount of texts. I don't effing understand at all. My self-control ended there. I got into her email and oh look, we have some interesting emails from Dr. Shitbag. Let me forward them to everybody relevant in this situation. Yay. I threw my phone at the wall. There's a big dent there now and my screen on the phone is completely broken. That was kind of the idea. I kept drinking, I kept being angry, I kept playing StarCraft even though I was losing. 4:30 PM, she wasn't home. 5 PM, nope. I passed out at some point after that. I hadn't slept in over, I don't know, a long time. I woke up at 5 AM the day before, so about 1,000,000 hours. I came to sometime later and she was sitting on the end of the bed. I was still drunk, so I don't think it had been long. Here's our conversation as I remember it. Liv, this is what I call her. She said, why? And I said, you deserve it. She said, no I effing don't. Are you insane? I said, I don't effing care what you think anymore. Shut the F up. And then she cut me off. And she said, stop. You're being an ass. Really? I said, oh okay, I'm an ass. I start to raise my voice at this point. I'm an ass. I'm the arsehole here, not you. Me. I'm the effing arsehole. What does that make you? Are you effing serious right now? Now, I'm fairly big. I'm 6'1", 215. I used to be a bit bigger, but I stopped going to the gym due to working so much. She's about 5'4", about 110. I don't know. She's a lot smaller than me. And she's crying and she says, please stop. I said, no, F you, you're a bitch, shut up. I stopped letting her talk and just shouted over her at this point. I didn't let her say a word. I stood right up to her and got in her face and accused her of everything. I could have punched her in the face. I didn't. I forgot half of what I said, but she eventually ran out the door crying, and I threw one of the stones from our porch at her car as she left the driveway. I haven't heard from her since. This was maybe an hour ago. I don't know if I'm going to post an update to this. I'm calmer now that she's gone. I've been crying off and on hysterically as I write this, taking breaks now and again. I'm broken right now and I don't know what I'm going to do from this point forward. 7 years of my life with her wasted. I could have spent that time with someone better. Wasted effort, a giant effing waste of my time. I'm done. I'm completely effing done. Closed our joint account. This was probably illegal in hindsight. I still don't care. Contacted HR. Boss didn't know anything about it, or so he says, so it was just random luck. Chickened out at telling the doctor's wife. Discovered a large text history between girlfriend and cheating doctor. Hacked, in air quotes, her email and forwarded all emails between them to everyone relevant in our lives. Passed out, woke up with her on the end of the bed, ran her out of the apartment screaming at her. The end. F this shit. Now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from Forsaken Drama 1789, who says, am I the arsehole for not telling my cousin my fiance works at the same office as her husband? First and only post. I mainly lurk. I thought stuff like this only happened in movies, but it happened and would like some unbiased opinions. More light-hearted than some of the other posts on here. I have a cousin, Kat, who got married to Henry earlier this year. We weren't close as kids. She was pretty spoilt and would always brag about how much designer stuff she has. Be really mean to people under the guise of just trying to help, etc. Don't go out of the way to interact with one another, but I do see her at family events and whatnot, and we make small talk. I'm engaged to Chris, who is a software engineer. He's co-head of his department at work with 2 other people. Not too long ago, Chris was telling me about how they had some new employees and one of them sounded really familiar. He told me their name and I realized it was Kat's husband. Also, he and Henry hadn't met face to face yet. Kat and Henry had a huge wedding. It was really nice, but all she did for months was brag about how amazing her wedding was. The wedding stuff's died down now, so recently she started going on about how wealthy her husband is and what a great lifestyle they have. One of my other aunts celebrated her 50th about a week ago. I went with Chris and Kat was there with Henry. We were chatting and Kat was saying how Henry has a fantastic new job that pays even more than his previous one. Henry chimed in and said they were already planning to buy a new house. Kat asked what Chris does. I said he was an engineer like Henry and he has a good job too, but I'll admit I left out where he works on purpose. She smiled and nodded, then said it's fine. She understands that I'm embarrassed and want to keep it quiet. So that was pretty much the end of our conversation then. When we were leaving, she pulled me aside and told me to let her and Henry know if we needed any help with the wedding. Obviously, I knew what she meant and it was just another dig. But I said bye and left. Literally 2 days later, I get a DM from Kat and she's furious. Well, as much as one can be through text, that I didn't tell them that Chris was one of Henry's bosses. Henry was shocked to see him in the office and Chris made a comment, tell Kat, OP, and me, don't need help but thanks for offering. Henry's really embarrassed and so's Kat, and she said that we made them look bad on purpose and if she knew, she'd never have made those comments. It was my duty to tell her and Henry. Chris and I had a really good laugh over this, but she sent me a text out of the family group chat we have saying how she was blindsided by me. Few of us said that what we did was petty and wrong. So am I the arsehole? Now this is an absolute not the arsehole to me. I mean, the fact that she said she understands that you're embarrassed, that peed me off instantly. And then later, after it all happened, you said it was your duty to tell her and Henry. No, it wasn't your duty. You didn't have to say any personal information at all if you don't want to. And she dug herself a hole in this, so, she can jump in it. But fine, Prune says, not the arsehole, and I love the way you handled it. It was better than the way I would have handled it, which would have been to publicly and loudly ask her husband how he liked working for my husband. But I have a habit of making things worse. It's not my best trait. Kat got your tongue says, not the arsehole. Kat is embarrassed and also annoyed she can't brag and one-up you, so she's telling you off as a way to clamber back power over you. Stand your ground and don't apologize. You can say, I understand you are embarrassed, but I didn't do anything wrong. If you didn't talk down to people, this would never be an issue. Ignore all the whinging and people she enlists to complain on her behalf. They are all wrong. Excellent patience says, not the arsehole. Had you said something at the moment, then she would have looked bad in front of everyone. You kept it to yourself. However, I do think your fiancé shouldn't have said that in the office if you didn't bother saying it before. At the office, he is a boss and he won't say anything back. At the party, you were all equal, so either say something there or don't say something later at the office. Misdirected arsehole says, not the arsehole, and quotes, Henry's really embarrassed and so's Kat, and she said that we made them look bad on purpose, and if she knew, she'd never have made those comments. She could have just not made those comments at all and been a decent person regardless of the work relationship. Maybe she should take that as a lesson about what she says. Now, what do you guys think of this one? Would you have handled it a different way? If you would, let us know down in the comments below. And as always, a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, support and time always means the absolute world to me, so thank you so much for what you do, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care guys, much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today